What's up guys, in this video I'm going to show you why the Chamber of Sins is such a popular area to power level in. Thank you for watching. What's up guys, Living Nerd Bro here. Welcome back to episode 3 of the best areas to farm and level in for Path of Exile. In today's episode we're going to talk about the Chamber of Sins in Act 2. And as in the previous videos, let's get the basics out of the way to begin with. The Chamber of Sins is an area in Act 2 connected to the crossroads. The Chamber of Sins consists of 3 levels, whereas a waypoint can be found on level 2. For farming, level 1 is the place to go, and that is the area that we're going to focus on in this video. The fastest and easiest way to get there is by taking the waypoint to the crossroads and both following and running in the direction that the left road takes you. This will take you straight to the Chamber of Sins level 1. The layout of the Chamber of Sins consists of rooms and corridors. In the center you'll find the unique zone boss Plague Wretch in an open room along with other randomly spawned mobs. The stairwell to level 2 always spawns either at the left, bottom or at the right edge of the map. Besides the actual stairway that takes you to level 2, there's 2 other obstructed or destroyed stairways leading nowhere. It is in those rooms that most of our experience comes from, as in those rooms there will always be a guaranteed magic pack spawning for us to kill. One of the biggest benefits of the Chamber of Sins is that you're always guaranteed at least 2 magic pack spawns of monsters, which will greatly increase your experience gain per hour. Additionally, the mobs are very easy and there's only a few things you need to be aware of, and if you feel like it, you can always go and kill Plague Wretch for an increased chance of loot dropping. Additionally, it's not uncommon to find even more magic packs of monsters when heading for the 2 guaranteed packs. When getting into the Chamber of Sins, your primary goal is to find the 2 guaranteed magic pack spawn locations. These 2 packs of monsters always spawn in a triangle formation opposite of the stairway that leads to level 2. And that is also why the entrance to level 2 can serve as a guide to find these packs. Let me show you an example of this. What you see here is the 3 potential spawn locations for the level 2 entrance when entering from the crossroads. Now remember that I said that the guaranteed magic pack spawns would always be in a triangle formation opposite of the entrance to level 2. As you can see on this picture, when the location of the stairway has been confirmed, we are always going to know where to look for the magic packs. As you will notice, when the spawn location of the level 2 entrance changes, so does the spawn location of the magic monsters. I recommend when getting into the Chamber of Secrets to stick to the left wall as you go out to explore these 3 locations. As you farm the area, you will quickly begin to understand where you can expect the stairways to be, and as a general tip from me to you, if you find an area that is obstructed by either rubble, vines or plants, then that is usually the direction to where the entrance to level 2 is spawning, and that means you should look in the other direction for the magic pack spawns. Terrex made a VOD telling you how to read the layout of Chamber of Sins to foresee where the entrance to level 2 is going to be. I am going to link to that video in my description in case you're interested. This information can greatly speed up your farming efficiency in this area. As soon as you've cleared the 2 guaranteed magic packs and the monsters on the way, of course, the next goal is to reset the area and start over. You can either reset it by going back to the entrance or by going down into level 2 and going back up. If doing the latter, you already know where the magic packs of monsters are going to spawn, so that's a benefit of doing it that way. So at which level should you be farming the Chamber of Sins? Well, depending on the difficulty, the Chamber of Sins is either level 19 area normal, 43 on cruel and 58 on merciless. And in general that would mean that on normal difficulty you can farm the Chamber of Sins between level 15 and 23. On cruel you can farm the Chamber of Sins between level 38 and 49, and on merciless difficulty you can farm the Chamber of Sins between level 52 and 65. If you stay within these guidelines, you'll gain the full amount of experience, which is 100% from killing the monsters in these areas. And if you prefer, you can of course keep farming these areas for a few more levels. Just remember that you will get less than optimal experience from doing that. Inside the Chamber of Sins you will encounter 5 different types of monsters for this area. Let's start with the worst or the most annoying of them, the Necromancer. This mofo, depending on the difficulty, has between 20 to 65% lightning resistance, and as you probably already know or guessed by the name, this mob will raise undead. In general, I advise you to kill this mob as your first priority. Remember that mobs raised by the Necromancer does not grant experience. The second mob you're going to encounter and I have no idea how to pronounce this, but I'm gonna try, the Saturd Aberration. This is basically a regular zombie type mob with the typical cold resistance varying from 20 to 65% depending on the difficulty. The only unique thing about this mob is that when killed it will drop a poison cloud where it was slain. The poison cloud deals chaos damage over time, and you should of course always move out of this as soon as possible. Using an amethyst flask can prove beneficial if you either have a low HP pool or a very low chaos resistance. Personally, I have never found it necessary though. The third mob type in the Chamber of Sins is the Spindle Spider. These guys boast a 20 to 65% lightning resistance and uses a regular physical melee attack. There's really not much else to say about these guys other than having a high amount of armor is going to be beneficial. In the Chamber of Sins you're also going to encounter the Sin Archer, which is basically a skeleton archer that for a change has no additional elemental or chaos resistances. It does however have the ability to shoot lightning arrows, and that of course means that having a high lightning resistance to reduce incoming damage and the risk of getting shock stack is going to prove beneficial when fighting these guys. If necessary, a Topaz Flask can make a big difference. The fifth and last mob you're going to encounter is, as mentioned earlier, the unique zone boss Plague Wretch the Zombie. This mob has additional resistances to lightning, cold and chaos damage. For attacks, this guy uses Viper Strike, which will basically add a damage over time effect on you. And this damage over time effect can stack up to 4 times and will be refreshed every time he hits you. Besides Viper Strike, Plague Wretch also uses a Degen aura that deals chaos damage to enemies around it. As a general tip for fighting Plague Wretch, make sure that you keep an eye out on your health globe all the time. This zombie may not have the crushing attacks that some other mobs have, but he will drain your life very fast if he is close to you and allowed to stack up his Viper Strike dots on you. Having a good amount of chaos resistance of course helps a great deal, but in general you just need to play smart and he shouldn't be much of a problem. In this situation the Amethyst Flask can prove useful as well. Of all the monsters in the Chamber of Sins, Plague Wretch is the mob that awards the most experience when killed. Depending on the difficulty, he will reward either 5,874 experience on normal, 33,401 experience on cruel, and 67,782 on merciless difficulty. However, killing a regular necromancer awards almost as much experience, so unless you're killing Plague Wretch for the additional chance of loot dropping, there's really no need to waste time on killing him for the experience alone. The third place for rewarding the most experience goes to the Sin Archer, whereas the fourth place goes to the Saturd Aberration, and the last place goes to the Spindle Spider. Inside the Chamber of Sins you have the chance of finding the corrupted zone, the secret laboratory. As always, remember to check the area affixes before entering. In this corrupted zone you will encounter the unique boss invader Atsiris Pride. He uses 3 active abilities, Lightning Warp, Arctic Armor and Unrighteous Fire, which is an AoE burn spell. Other than that, he has additional elemental resistances and chaos resistance. The thing that makes Atsiris Pride dangerous is his Unrighteous Fire aura, that will deal a ton of damage to you, coupled with his Lightning Warp ability that always ensures that he can remain close to you. If playing as a melee character, his Arctic Armor will further slow down your movement speed and make it harder for you to escape him if necessary. When fighting this guy in cruel or merciless difficulty, it's always recommended to be fire resistance capped. Using a ruby flask is a very good idea as well. That's it for this episode, guys. In the next episode I'm going to show you an old-time classic farming area in Path of Exile, namely the Fellshine Ruins. Thank you for watching, and bros, do you even nerd?